A few days ago, the new co-op commander Mengsk was released, and of course I had to check it out immediately. I got the bundle, commander, announcer, and stim pack, and asked a few friends to help me level him, and now that I've hit 15, I'd like to show him off, and let you guys know what I think about this new commander. The gist of Mengsk is that he's controlling civilians. He even opens up missions with war? No, this is a training exercise, because he's a liar and we all hate him. So your civilians can easily and quickly change between working and fighting, and are cheap and expendable like any good civilian is. You upgrade them so they're better fodder, but the real meat of his compositions come in the form of his elite guard. Each elite guard gets rewarded for being in battle and eventually gains 3 tiers of abilities once you've hit level 15. So for once in StarCraft 2, the rank on a unit actually means something. The goal is to use your militia as fodder and keep your elite guards alive. Eventually, your elite guards even provide aura bonuses to actually make your entire army not so bad. Mengsk is one of the most unique commanders to hit co-op. His units change roles quickly and are mostly expendable, like Zagara, but can be upgraded to be quite good with certain guns, like a flamethrower or grenade launcher, and can even build static defense as militia during actual battles. His bunkers are depots, so building them is a given, and losing them hurts more than normal. His first cooldown provides bunkers and units, and you should be able to build an army pretty quickly. His command centers provide both workers and army, so many of you will have the same problem as I did, in that you won't remember to build them from the CC. The good news is that if you get in your head just to build 1 billion workers, you can quickly change them into militia at a command center or a bunker. His elite guards are super gas heavy, so the idea is to use minerals on militia and gas on the ghost, tank, etc., whatever comes out of your barracks, factory, and starport, and of course your upgrades. His special static defense structure packs a punch and can get up to a whopping 75 range from a default 50. It's pretty much half the map. But the shots are a bit random within the circle that it shows when you actually target something, so the abuse of these cannons can only go so far, unless of course you build a ton of them, like 20 or 30. The Imperial Witness unit that is built out of the starport helps provide Mengsk energy, or Imperial Mandate I think is what it's called, while in its indoctrination mode, which is just its static mode, almost like a surveillance mode observer, and gives 20% bonus to attack speed and movement speed of any unit within its range, so kind of like Stim, but without the actual damage. His Zerg cooldown depends on the amount of energy you store. Just Zerglings to Hydras to Mutas, and eventually all the way to Ultras when you're at 100 energy. They pop out of the ground in a bunch of different places within a circle, so it's actually kind of effective in the way that it can surround certain armies, and can be certainly a way to defend your base or just provide a big momentum to your first attack. Leveling Mengsk is a chore like other co-op commanders, although many of you will disagree with me. I personally find leveling commanders usually a chore. But if each level unlock is fun, then it's a little less of a chore. And Mengsk usually provides a bit of excitement to the next level of play, although his best unlock is probably allowing his nuke ability to go from 20 missiles to 40. Level 15 is, like all commanders, where the big changes come through, and that's unlocking tier 3 for his elite guards, which provide a new tier ability on every single unit that comes from those main 3 production facilities. Mengsk's big plays are actually pretty damn fun. You know, the ability that just makes you go like, wow, this co-op commander is actually pretty fucking cool. Like most co-op commanders, the top bar is the funnest abilities provided. In the case of Mengsk, nukes are by far the most fun, and my stream has heard me cackling whenever I've called down any nukes ever, even on a place that didn't even matter. It just feels like you're super powerful, and you're also the villain, so you really get to do the evil maniacal laugh. Also, building a dozen plus Earthsplitter ordnances, the big cannons that are a static defense, to rain down on chokes or, positions the enemy is going to be in, is a lot of fun, kind of giving you the mini hype of the nuke, but kind of in a consistent manner because it actually is a static defense. Think of them as Zagara's bio launchers, but actually good and fun. So how about some tips for people that have just picked up Mengsk and are perhaps leveling him or have actually hit level 15 and are wondering what the best way to play is? I am certainly not a co-op expert, far from it in fact. But I like to think that I'm okay at RTSs and StarCraft, specifically. So I'll give you some of the things that I've seen to learn while leveling him till 15. First of all, learn to be flexible with his workers. Turn workers to militia, build bunkers with militia, turn them back into workers to repair those bunkers. When you're done defending, turn them back into workers to saturate your natural. The more you can be flexible with your workers and keep in mind that they can do multiple things, even as militia, the better you're going to be with Mengsk. Right now, I'm trying to dive toward Imperial Witnesses, so really fast way to starport and then into your fusion core. The reason that I do this is that, well, first of all, the top bar abilities of most commanders are the most fun, they're also usually the best. And there's easy ways to make you get basically energy faster than any other commander that doesn't actually let you increase the speed of its energy gain unless you get into the masteries portion. No. For Mengsk, there's actually a unit. If you put an Imperial Witness on top of your main miners, your natural miners, and on top of any army and actually put it in that indoctrination mode, you get much faster energy regeneration. On top of that, if you research the Amplified Airwaves upgrade from the Fusion Core, you get even faster energy regeneration. And with all of that energy, you'll actually be able to use your top bar abilities, which initially when I was playing Mengsk, 1 through 10 levels, let's say, I was having a lot of difficulty using them, thought it was a bit lame. You start putting those Imperial Witnesses over your army and also your economy, and you will actually start using it quite a bit. You can technically break supply with the bunker cooldown, guys, if you ever want to look into it. It's not, I think, feasible to really bust it like a Zerg player busts the supply with building spore crawlers and spine crawlers, but it's still technically possible. Earth Splitters, that is the big cannon that they use, can abuse certain maps if that's not obvious. Since they don't need vision to hit within their range, if you guys didn't know that, now you do, they can take out hybrids or trains without even being close because they eventually get 75 range. Additionally, these Earth Splitters provide vision when they do their attack, which means you can use any call down ability when it does to pack twice the punch. So you put your Earth Splitters on an area, it reveals the area, then you call down a nuke or the Zerg army, whatever, and you can actually do quite a bit of damage without ever having to leave your own base. When fully max level, Thors and battlecruisers provide auras for your units, so I've been trying to include at least the Thor for +3 armor to the units kind of directly around it and underneath it. So my final thoughts on this new co-op commander. Mengsk is certainly a unique commander that will strike the right chords with a lot of people. I know the guy who actually helped design him and create him and whatnot actually said that it's currently his favorite commander. Personally, he's not really my favorite, but I'd still place him as maybe my 5th favorite commander behind Stepman and Tychus and Nova and Dahaka. He takes getting used to since his production cycle is so different from usual StarCraft 2, and it can be off-putting to play him against certain enemy compositions. I speak from experience. Making a bunch of army, congratulating yourself for remembering to make it from the CC, and then losing it to a bunch of Storms and Reavers is not really feeling very good. As I said, it's kind of like Zagara, but without the mass Zerg appeal that you get with her. Mainly, that is the problem, is dealing with enemy compositions that include a lot of AoE, because they're fodder. They're gonna die instantly. He struggles a bit in the early game as well when it comes to maps that force you to move out early, but accommodations can be made when you figure out how to use his workers to the best of their ability. I think he is a malleable commander. His call-down abilities are fun overall and provide the feeling of being overpowered, which really co-op commanders is kind of all about that. But the most fun is calling down his missiles and nuke at 100 energy. It feels really villainous and powerful. Calling upon the Zerg at 100 energy also feels really cool, and you also get the added bonus of feeling like you've stolen some of their race's ability, which is always a little fun. I can absolutely see Mengsk struggling in some mutations, propagators come to mind, but I also think he has a high skill ceiling that can work around it. He might be that partner commander that you kind of groan and think to yourself, God, I hope he's halfway decent, since I believe he's a difficult commander to use, much less actually master, so keep that in mind. I think Stetman also had a bit of this problem where if you actually could get Stetmans who just didn't even put down satellites, and that's an issue. So he might be one that you will have to be cautious when you actually enter into, for instance, a mutation, a brutation. You're going to want to check to make sure he's doing everything correctly. On the other hand, He might also help break a couple of maps in the hands of the co-op community's most cunning players, and there are certainly a lot of very good co-op players. Maybe they're not the greatest at StarCraft, maybe they are, it doesn't matter, but they just somehow get co-op and they love breaking the game. I think Mengsk will work especially well with those players. Overall, Mengsk proves that the co-op team has a ton of great ideas still to come, and they aren't half-assing new commanders and making copies of others, like a second Raynor or a second Vorzin or something. He's different, he's fun, and everyone loves the feeling of being the all-powerful villain when they call down 40 missiles and a nuke to top it off.